friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. If you like to listen to somebody babble about music, you've come to the right place. I don't know, maybe I should start mentioning that I don't, do like snippets of songs or samples or anything like that because, I have, and, they get blocked or, you get strikes. I don't know how these other channels are doing it and what they're doing special, but I have not been so lucky. I've actually had my own music, which plays in the background of these things, actually flagged as copyright. One of them said I was stealing from, or I was playing an Oasis song, which I don't know, it doesn't sound anything like Oasis, but so that stuff happens. So that's why we don't do it. I just do this channel to talk about stuff and keep the music alive. I say that a lot, and they got bands I like to talk about them. That's what I do. So I'm talking about Shout at the Devil from Motley Crue here. They just came out with this gigantic box set called Year of the Devil. It includes a lot of stuff. It comes like a big box. It's got the CD, it's got the LP, it's got the cassette, it's got a couple singles, it's got extra trinkets and stuff. You got flags and candle holder, tarot cards, Ouija boards, I don't know, all kinds of stuff in there, lithograph arts, all kinds of stuff in there, but not a whole lot of extra music. With all that stuff in there, what you get, 7 extra demos, which have already been released in one shape or form or another, and you do get the remaster. So there is a single standalone version of this, which is what I'm talking about today. Just thought you may want to mention what's out there in that set. If you people out there love Motley Crue, I love Motley Crue. I don't love them enough to buy this box set, however. I've seen them in concert like 3 times. Actually, the second concert I ever went to in my life was Motley Crue. It was Theater of Pain. I'm one of the few people that probably loves that album, and it's probably because I saw them live and I just have that memory of it. Sometimes that's how things stick with us. Funny enough, one of the extra demos on here's a song called Hotter Than Hell, which is actually the demo which turned into Louder Than Hell on that Theater of Pain album, which is, I think that's might be my favorite song on that album. I actually really like that song. It's one of those songs where Vince Neil is actually really nailing a super high note at the end of it. I just always thought that was cool. Kid, you hear him. That was like the height of all that type of stuff, and I just thought that was pretty cool. He was just kind of like, I don't know if that might be the highest note he's ever hit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't check it with a tuner or anything like that. But anyway, on to the music. I did listen to it through, and I have mixed feelings on this one, and I'll explain why. Everybody knows this album. Well, I'm not going to go through like track by track. If you don't know this album, it's 40 years ago this thing came out. You're missing out because it's a really good album. It's actually, this is my introduction to Motley Crue, this album. I went back and got the first one after that. And those 2 albums I just listened to all the time. And that's why, I was really excited to go see them live for the first time. And the mixed feelings I have about this is that the remaster is really good. It's really clear. You can hear, especially in the beginning, you get to hear all this little stuff in the background, which I never even noticed was there before. And you can really understand what he's saying in that little speaking part there in the intro. You can hear like Nikki Sixx's bass really clear, which is always a little bit muddy in the mix before. And obviously they brought out a lot of the treble in this. They brought out a lot of the high end. It's not as muddy of a feel to it. It's not a remix from what I see here, but just a remaster. And it's, I don't know, it just sounds a lot more crisp and clear, which is good. You can hear everything. Now, the reason I say I have mixed feelings on this is because sometimes maybe Motley Crue sounds a little bit better, not that clear. This is, and I don't mean that as an insult, but this is back in the days where they kind of like, there was no auto-tune, there was no anything, the editing was, everything was on tape, and you can hear a little bit of that editing in there now. I just, every now and then I was like, oh, what was that? And now I guess it's just casually listening to it, you probably won't notice it. And, you can hear the different, when you do different vocal takes, sometimes you deliver it with a different you know, just a different way. And so sometimes you're piecing things together. The levels, the way you're performing it will be different. The attitude behind it will be a little bit different. So sometimes you can hear a little bit a difference from line to line in that. And you know, Nikki Sixx isn't like, you know, I don't know how to say it nicely. He's not like, you know, like a virtuoso. He plays what the song calls for. It works perfect for Motley Crue. The formula for Motley Crue is perfect. I love the way they sound. So I'm not saying that as a diss, but when you hear it all like a little bit more clear in those days when maybe they weren't being as precise as they knew they didn't need to be, sometimes a little bit of that stands out. So I don't know, that's why I have a little bit mixed feelings on it. Although the songs sound great, and let me tell you, Mick Mars really shines on this version of it. So the mix, he really comes out in it. Sounds great, and of course Tommy Lee's just a killer drummer. I mean, he's just, I don't know, he's a great drummer. He's probably the most like talented guy in the band. I mean, he really is a phenomenal drummer. I don't think he gets enough credit. Maybe he does, I don't know. I just think he's an amazing drummer. I think Mick Mars is a really good guitar player. I don't think he gets enough credit for sure. Nikki Sixx is a great songwriter. He really is. You know, say what you will about his bass playing, but he actually comes up with some cool tunes. And back in the, you know, these days, Vince Neil was killing it. He was singing good. For that style of music, he had the attitude. He had the cool sound. Like, no, I don't think really anybody really sounded quite like that back in those days. Got a lot of copycats afterwards, but he was like the first one that was singing that kind of tone and style. And, you know, you can hear where he got his influence from. You know, you can hear some of the punk influences and maybe, you know, some of that going on. But anyway, and then the demos are cool. I mean, I've heard all these before, and it's kind of fun to hear what they sounded like, you know, and stuff. But there's other bonus stuff out there. There's other rarities, stuff that they've released. All this is out there on other platforms. So if you're just buying it just for the extra stuff, it's, you know, you can find more of it, like probably cheaper, and you know, more demos. There's all kinds of demos out there. I mean, it's not even hard to find them. And if you're going for the remix, I would go for the single disc. If you like all that extra stuff in the box set, and it's like one of those things you're a collector, you know, it's cool. It's, I don't know, $150 I think is what this is kind of retailing for, right around that price range. So that's my quick rundown of Motley Crue. Love this band, really do. So hopefully nothing was taken as a diss, but that's just my kind of quick take on the, you know, what I thought of the new remaster. So anyway, as always, you know, feel free to share your comments and, you know, what you think of these guys. If you have any personal Crue experiences, I don't have anything where I've ever met any of these guys or anything like that, so I got nothing like that to share. I've seen them a few times, but that's about it. And as always, like, share, subscribe, so keep other people talking about this stuff, and as always, keeping the music alive. And we'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.